Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Raw Daddy Hour, hosted by yours truly, Raw Daddy himself. This is your grandmama's favorite podcast. If you're not tuned in by now, you should be. Let me introduce you guys to my guests. To my left, I have Kylea and also my boy Myles. Kylea, you're new to the scene, so tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Kylea. I'm a artist in Houston, and I'm excited to be on your podcast. I don't know why I wasn't here sooner.
Yeah, we only
I feel like I should be a part of every show.
Well, talk to management about that. I'll get my people here, and then we'll discuss that. So today we're talking about, can men and women just be friends? Is it possible? Is it not natural? Is it something that they're not able to do, or is it something that can very well be done? So, Myles, I'm gonna start with you. I want to get your take, just your basic take on, can men and women just be friends?
Absolutely. I think they can be friends. People got to understand it's just been us here. It's just been men and women since the dawn of time. So I think the relationship comes in many shapes and forms, but due to the lack of maturity, people can kind of lose that. But my overall opinion of it, I think we can definitely be friends and coexist with each other, with it not being anything more.
Kylea, what do you think?
No. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's from my personal experience, but like every person that I've tried to be a friend, can we curse on this show? Okay, because every person that I've like ever been friends with, like eventually wants to have sex with me. I was gonna say the F word, but I'll keep it clean. But yeah, like it doesn't matter, like, because every good relationship starts out with a friendship. So I feel like once I start building a friendship with someone, they like become attracted to me and like they want me even more. And there's always that like underlying, like somebody's gonna want somebody. Either the girl's gonna want the guy or the guy's gonna want the guy. Eventually, always. I feel that way. Like, why did you make that face?
You said the guy's gonna want the guy.
Gonna want the guy.
Did I say the guy's gonna want the guy? What the hell?
No, that's funny.
Well, that could be the case too sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But we're talking about men and women here, but I'm saying either the guy's gonna want the girl or the girl's gonna want the guy. Like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like men and women are meant to be in unity. Like, so it's just kind of like, it's tough. Like, I mean, I'm not saying they can't coexist as friends, but there's definitely gonna be like a secret, you know, like sensation for one of them. I
kind of agree with both of you guys. I do agree that majority of the time somebody wants somebody, or they might mutually want each other. But I do also agree that they can be friends. I just think it's a choice. I think it's how you choose to act upon whatever it is you feel. So I could be attracted to someone, but I might view their friendship as a bigger asset to me, or something that I value more than what we could do sexually or moving past that, right? So I might make the choice like, you know what, I'm gonna just keep it here. Yes, I have these feelings, but I'm gonna suppress them. I'm gonna keep it back because I feel like this is a more valuable entity for both of us than if we were to pursue something further. So I do believe that there's tension, especially, I mean, like you said, men and women were made to be together. Like, we were made for each other. So I do believe that there's always gonna be that tension, but it's what you choose to do with it that determines whether or not you are truly friends, or, you know, if you want to take it farther. I mean,
see, now I got that control.
Yeah.
But I like exude a really sexual energy. I don't know why, but everybody tells me that. So it's just kind of, I feel like most comfortable when I'm like, and you know, like you've recorded me, like, not like that, but I'm just saying, like, you've recorded videos of me. And so it's just kind of like, when you know, when I get in front of that camera, it's just, and that could, like, people could be attracted to you because of that. But I have a lot of control. But I cannot tell you how many times, like, I've had a friendship with someone and they end up confessing all of their love for me. Like, even if I had no idea, like, down the road, like, it never fails. Like, that's just my personal experience.
But have you ever had any positive, like, I know that's not a negative, but have you ever had any interactions on the opposite side of that coin, where they didn't, and it was a long-lasting good friendship?
No.
Never.
Every single person I've ever been friends with has wanted me. I don't blame them.
Maybe we go to a different place.
And it goes much further than beauty. It's like intellect, you know, like the conversations we have, and because we're friends, right, we're gonna like open up more, let loose, maybe be ourselves more so than if we like had an intention that we wanted to date somebody. We might be on our best behavior. So it's like eventually, yeah, I've never had a friendship where they just like, yeah, they're just my friend. Maybe we never did anything, but eventually I always find out that they wanted to. So
How do you navigate that?
Well, I mean, a few of them I've taken them up on the offer, but you know, most of them I'm just kind of like, no, like your friendship means so much more to me, like then because when I get sexual with someone, I get like emotional. It's just a natural thing. Like I'm like, you know, oh, we're gonna do something, you're mine. Like I don't play about mine, so it's just kind of like that has messed up a lot of. I'm not gonna say a lot, but a few friendships for me. So like now I have so much more control, you know, with it. Like I'm just like, if the friendship is way more important to me, then I won't. But I don't want to make anyone feel rejected, you know. So I'll always be like, oh my God, like I'm flattered, I love you too. But you know, it's just not. We're not gonna take that road.
So Myles, do you feel that you've had genuine female friendships where neither of you were interested in the other?
Yeah, actually, I got a couple of examples. Just because, like, I know I have a friend right now. It's been my friend for we've known each other for probably about 10 years, but we've been close friends for like the past like 6. And the relationship, our friendship got tested heavily when I started dating the mother of my child. And it was certain things that we used to do. Like, she can call me random time, tell me about random stuff, and I'll listen. I'm a friend, so I'll listen. But when I start to get into a relationship, I had to like understand, like.
Was she bothered by that?
Yeah,
it's because she secretly wants you.
But
just saying.
it was more so for like the availability, like, and I just had to understand it because it's up to whoever the friend is that's in the relationship to balance the two, or at least make it known to like what are the new, like, I don't want to say rules, but like respect boundaries. I'm in a relationship. I sleep with this girl every night, so like. I'm not in college no more. You can't randomly call me at 2:00 in the morning so we can vent about, however your day was or what stuff like that. But I'll just say that experience for me was very tough because I went through a phase of going through like, well, this is my friend and this how it was first, so I'm gonna always be there for my friend. And understanding like, you're in a different place now, so you also have to like make it aware to your friend, make it presentable to them that I'm not that available like that, or this is my first priority. It's my relationship with this individual. You are my friend, but if you love me as a friend, you also respect, my lane and stuff like that. So it was just very challenging, but we're still good friends even all the way up to this day. And so we went through that change, and even with time, it showed me what true friendship is. Just to answer the question from earlier, to add more to it is, like you said, I think the first thing people need to do is be aware and be mature enough to understand that just because that friend is attractive, like you said, doesn't mean you have to act on that. I have a lot of attractive friends. I know they're attractive. I'm not stupid. I'm not blind. But I value relationships more than a physical touch. Like, you get it? Like, it's more people in this world for you to go get a sexual need from. You can go do that with anybody, but like genuine friends, that's different. So it is a decision on yourself though to act upon that if you want to or not. So with the guys that came your way, I felt like it could have been a decision. They asked themselves first, like, should I do this or should I not? And then they just jumped because they did it anyway. But
there was like one that I didn't even know he felt that way. He had shared it with someone else, never told me, but told someone else. To this day, he doesn't even know that I know. Right? He doesn't know. Like, he doesn't know that I know because that friendship was like so much more important to me. Like, You know what I'm saying?
Did he ever?
And I knew that he wasn't in a place that if we did get intimate, that he would be able to like take on like what I kind of expect, right? I mean, they say don't have expectations, but I have standards and values, so you kind of like automatically
No.
have a little expectation there. You know what I'm saying?
Because I was going to ask you how you navigated those relationships once the information is now known. Like, is it,
right,
we're not going to do this, let's continue being friends? Or is it like, oh, I can't talk to you now?
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
not
Like,
that at all. And no, I'm not that kind of person. Like I said, I don't ever want anyone to feel like rejected by me. So, you know, I would just reassure them that, hey, like, this is why this can't happen, because you know I'm crazy, and like if I get intimate with you, it's gonna be on another level. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't want that to like mess up like the connection we have. Like, and I know you're not in a place that, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it would be different if I felt that they were in a place that if we did get intimate, they could like, you know what I'm saying, be on the same mindset as I am.
So has there ever been, Myles, for you, has there ever been a point where there was a friend that you were interested in and you chose the friendship over approaching them? Because so when I ask about men and women just being friends, it's not just, oh, this person's attractive, I want to go do something with them. You might genuinely feel something for them. You know what I mean? Like, they might be genuine feelings, not just this person is attractive. Right. Have you ever had to navigate that from your side? Not necessarily someone coming to you, but from your side.
Absolutely. And it was actually a turning point for me. It was a long time ago, man, a couple of years ago. And it was probably the first, I would say, mature decision I've ever made when it came to dealing with a woman. I knew she had feelings for me. We had a great friendship. We started off talking from like long distance. So like she was in another state, I was in one state. And it was friends right off the bat, great conversation. And when we linked up, it was cool, but like I started to understand like we had so much fun doing like regular friend stuff, then it like that feeling of hanging out with her just as a friend outweighed the feeling of like being intimate with her. And like never had sex or anything like that, but the time when we were like, I guess got close to it, like I just remember like thinking in my head, like, you know, I kind of know how this gonna play out. Like, you know, yeah, to happen, and then like, you know, I'll probably fall off with communication, and you know, like it starts to slow down, and like I just kind of knew how that would play.
Fall off with communication.
Like you just, because you got to think
right
about
there,
it. A guy, you know, like, man, hey, look, I ain't going nowhere. I'll do whatever she need me to do. Like I always feel like when a guy really wants something or someone, he can do everything in his power to make it be known. So when you don't really want something, it shows. And so, like, it was just certain stuff I kind of seen already around the corner. And I remember with this specific girl, I literally was just like, I called it myself. And I was like, nah, we just kind of better off, like, as friends. And I used to think I messed up. Like, I used to think I was like, man, you idiot. Like, what was you thinking? But, like, actually, to this day, like, we're still great friends. And, like, I can say that was, like, the first, like, example of me, like, maturing different in a relationship and not just always thinking like, you know, you need to like score, I guess, to feel like a man or something like that, because I start to value relationships more than anything, you know. I know it's a lot of people out there where like sex doesn't come to them, I guess, a lot, or you know how some people they just don't find people, I don't know, I don't want to say
yeah, just like what's your zodiac sign?
I just understand that like I'm a Virgo, but like I'm just saying like
that's why
I feel like a relationship should be valued more, because in the long run that's what you're left with. Like how many movies do you have to see, or how many examples do you have to see of people who just have pointless sex and then like they just still feel empty?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
I definitely had to mature into that. I can agree with you in saying that. I feel like that's when you start to reach that level of maturity, when you really start to understand what a relationship is, and not just a romantic one, but a relationship period. Because I did used to be just like that, where it was like, if there's tension, I gotta do it. Like this is how it's supposed to go. Like there wouldn't be tension if I wasn't supposed to finish this. You know what I mean? I always thought that, like when I was, you know, college, 21, 22, 23. And then I was like, dang, this is really ruining a lot of my friendships, man. Like I'm really not able to, you know, keep these friendships long lasting, because and then I had to think about it like, okay, what was the central reason as to why? And it was like you just spoke. Once the intimacy happened, so came the emotions that were not there before.
Exactly.
In my head, I'm like, we could just do this, and then we can go back to that. But in their head, it was like, no, once we do this, we're over here.
We're here.
Like, dang, man.
We're
So
here.
I had to mature into, okay, just because there's tension doesn't mean that you got to go run and, finish that, right? You can leave that be and choose the friendship or the relationship over whatever's over here. And that, like you said, I mean, that has led to a lot of amazing friendships. I have tension with a good amount of women, but it's my choice or their choice whether or not we act on it. And I think as a collective, you have to decide, like, are you cool with going over here? Because sometimes you just don't even need to touch that.
Yeah.
You need to stay over here because this is where, like you said, you can keep the communication and the expectations are a little bit lower and you can manage that and you are comfortable here. But if you know that going over here is going to end it, because like you said, I'm not going to be able to keep up with this. Like you said, you can't offer me what I need. Then you have to make that choice to be friends. And that's where I say men and women can be friends at the right maturity level.
Yes.
19 years old,
Yeah, if
it might
they're
not be the
both-
best time, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
if they're both like on the same,
Wavelength.
exactly the same level, because I have had a situation where, it was a friendship and then we did act on it and then emotions were involved and then we both kind of had to like check ourselves and be like, that was fun, we really can't, we know that it's not gonna, you know what I'm saying? And we were able to like bring it back to where it was, So it's possible, but I don't know.
Have you ever been the friend that caught the feelings?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I'm a Leo. I'm hella
what'd you
emotional,
do?
bro.
What'd you
Like,
do about it, though? How did you navigate that?
I spoke on that shit. The fuck? Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, I spoke on it. What? No, I'm not gonna. I'm a very honest person. So if I got the opportunity, I'm gonna let you know. You do with it what you will. You know what I'm saying?
And how did that
and I
end?
won't be offended if they don't feel the same. Which pretty much never happens, but.
Feel the Leo energy. You can
You
feel
know
the
what I
Leo
mean?
in this.
But what you had said, I wanted to touch base on that because you were like, people are not gonna like do things unless they like really want something, right? Well, I've had a situation where they've really, wanted me, but it's like they didn't act on it because they were intimidated by the way I move and how you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's not necessarily that they're not going to act on it because they don't want it. It's just that, they might know, like, they might be a little scared.
I mean, but if you know you can't, and I don't mean to say can't handle as in a derogatory way, but if you know that, like, because I feel like, I mean, personally, being someone's friend first, I mean, you kind of get like a trailer. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To what the movie's gonna be like. So if you're looking at this trailer and you're like, hold on, I don't know if I can do them stunts. I don't know if I can.
Exactly.
I don't know. Then I think it's respectful and I think it's honorable to just bow out. Don't waste nobody's time. You know what I mean? If they see how you move and they feel like, okay, that doesn't necessarily align with
It's not
something that
always
I
in a
can
negative
handle.
context.
No, I don't
though.
mean negatively.
It's more like, you're so in tune and so real. Like, I don't know if I'm on that level with you yet.
And I think I can respect that.
I've had conversations with homegirls of mine and about like guys that they talk to, and ones that I'm really close with. That's why I think the relationship friendship between a man and a woman is important, because I think we need to have that other opinion. Like if I'm having a girl issue, I need to have a homegirl that maybe can like let me know what she thinking, because like apparently like I'm not getting it, But when I'm the ear for my homegirl and she's telling me stuff about, her dude, I'll sit there and listen like, that's, you crazy. Like, I wouldn't deal with you either. Like, but like in my head, I'm like, I would never date you like ever in life. Like, I'm so glad we're just friends, but like, good luck to him, that has to deal with that. But I'm able to see who she really is and how she thinks on the other side of that phone. Because a lot of guys don't get to see that. A lot of guys feel like, a girl is just who I'm going to talk to today and stuff like that, not realizing she's freaking out about your text that you sent her last night. You know what I mean?
I feel like
and
a lot of guys
don't see
are
that.
also scared of like emotions, because like emotion, like we put like a negative context on it too, but emotion is not like being emotional. It's not, I mean, there's levels to it, right? But it's not always like a negative thing. Like when I say I'm emotional, I just mean that I feel everything so deeply. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna be crying about every little thing or sensitive about every little thing. No, it just means that I really feel my shit. Like,
there's a big difference between being emotional and letting your emotions control you.
Right.
I think a lot of people put them as the same thing.
They do.
I think all of us are emotional in a way. You know, I mean, we all feel.
sure.
It's what do you do with that feeling? As we've been
A
talking about
lot of
today.
people suppress it, you know.
Yeah,
Their
that's not
pride
healthy.
and their ego is involved. Like, I like put my pride and ego right down, and I just like, you know, it's an open book. This is me.
Hello, world.
No, but it's this is an interesting topic. I don't know. I think because my experience has just been so different than a lot of other people. Like, I don't know.
I think you might find that
I mean, you're
it's
my
more
friend.
common than you think, though. I think you might find that it's a more common stance than you think, though. Like, I really, but like men and women innately, I think when you're around someone so much, you can start to make up shit that you're attracted about them. You know what I mean? Like, it just starts to eventually, and especially I'm a Scorpio, so I get curious. Like, I'm a very curious person, so I'm like, what is there something over there? I gotta seek that out. And before you know it, that curiosity could lead to an attraction, right? Tension, all these things. So I do think that just men and women being in close proximity, if they are attracted to, like, if men like women and women like men, if they're attracted to one another, over time, you start to find those attractions. But then once like we said, that level of maturity to know what to do with it is the big thing, because some things don't need to even be said. Like, if you just find someone attractive, like, you don't need to, go down that road just to be like, hey, you attractive. But now if you really feeling something and it's really sitting on you, like me and Vicky were just talking about earlier, like, if you have a friend that you're so enamored with and attracted to that they tell you that they're in a great relationship and you can't be supportive, like, it's to that point, then all right, maybe you need to talk about it. Maybe you need to let that out. But if it's just like, oh, my friend Kylea, she's super cute, like, you don't really need to cross those lines if you don't have to, right? So, I mean, yeah, to me, it just boils all down to choices and then emotional maturity. Like you said, I think we're all emotional. It's what you do with them. Some people suppress it. Some people just throw their arms up and let it fly out. And then other people they let it, kind of influence their moods. And that, to me, is the most dangerous person. But, yeah, it all kind of boils down to me is choices. I can choose we have that ability as humans. You can choose whether or not you want to cross this line or not.
Temptation is just...
It's crazy. It is. But, Myles, how do you handle temptation? You know what I mean? It's a real thing. It's a drug.
I feel like temptation is like, I used to think that it would stop, it would go away if you're in a relationship or something like that. Like, for an old head never set me down and told me, like, look, it ain't going nowhere. And once I started to understand that, I realized, like, okay, it's really up to me. It's up to me to control myself and to understand, like, yes, that girl can be attractive, and I can acknowledge it in my head like any guy, because what you hear, no, guys gonna be guys. I'm a guy, so I'll probably look at an attractive woman and be like, she's very attractive. But I am on a point on the level to where I'm attracted to personality, and I know I am. I've been in the presence of a very beautiful woman, and I've recognized that she's a bitch, and I've understood that right off the back, and I've still kind of been cool with her on a friend level, just because to me, she's cool. We're fine. But, like, I could tell the way she handled her dating situations, that seemed tough. Like, and I don't want no part in it. But, like, and I've managed that relationship very, very good, and that's how I was able to understand, like you said, it's always a choice if you want to act on something or not. But once I was able to understand, like, I can say, like, someone's attractive and just kind of keep it to myself and not feel like you got to broadcast or anything like that to the world, because it's about relationships and connections. Once I started to understand that, temptation became, like, it was really nothing to me. Like, it's more about, only time temptation is shaking me if I'm sitting down with somebody and the conversation is just going to the moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're really just talking, and I'm like, I feel like you know me personally. Like, you experience that. That's how you create temptation with me. But, like, other than that, just physical appearances and stuff like that. I mean, I know I probably look good from the outside too, but like once you get to know me, you be like this dude weird, like you know what I mean? He watch Discovery Channel and stuff like that. Like that's lame. I thought you go out and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, it's the filter, it's the image. Like once you get to know me, it's up to you if you really like me or not, you know. So once I was able to understand that, it just made it a little bit more easier. And you know, man, we work in gyms. Well, you know, we worked in the gym in Lifetime at that, like so. Temptation everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But like understanding that, like I mean, not to like disrespect any female, but like I'm more interested in what's up here than you know what you're carrying, because I know I look good, but like I prefer a woman to come try to like really see what's in my head and like what I'm trying to do, what am I passionate about. That's how you're gonna like kind of turn me on more so, because I know I'm not the tallest, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the swollest, I don't have any of those crazy features, so I'm not banking on nothing physical to sell me. I'm more, you know, just let's sit down, let's think, like, what's your perspective on the world? That's how you
I like that.
shake me, you know? Like, just to be honest, and it's not on no game or anything like that, I promise y'all. It's
you
just
running game right now.
Like, it's just being honest, like, because, you got to think, I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. I had to get away from all the physical appearances, like, as a guy being short. Man, you gotta start looking for other stuff.
See,
you got
that's
the baldy though, man. Like you got the baldy. That's the cheat code, bro. That's the cheat code, bro.
Man, honestly, like it just, I don't know. Like I come from a household of women, and I wanted to make sure, like, and I have a little girl as well. So my understanding of females, I wanted to make sure it was pure. I didn't want to be raising a young lady, and I don't know how to connect or have a proper relationship with one. Amen. You know, so once my daughter got here, it became more serious, and I just started to value relationships a little bit more, even friendships, like small friendships. I had a friend call me the other day, asked me if I can do her a small favor. I couldn't do it, but I was trying my hardest to do it. Like I was really trying, and she was like, no, it's okay. And I'm like, well, just call me back if you need me. Like, I'll still be able to help, just because I wanted to be there for a friend. Like, those times like that, it really matters to me. So, as a guy, just understanding what do you really want in life? I know I value relationships over physical touches. So,
interesting.
I have an interesting one for you.
Okay,
so,
I'm ready.
Based on your experiences, right, saying that it always ends up physical, or not physical, but it always ends up with some feelings, right? How do you feel about the man you're dating having female friends? How do you navigate that when you're in a relationship?
I'm fine with it because I know what I bring to the table, and there ain't no comparison. It's just that simple. I'm very, very confident in what I possess and what I give to the person that I'm dating. So, like, even when I was married, you know, because I was married for 10 years, like, my ex-husband, he didn't really have like friends per se, but in his work environment, you know, he had like women, and I never questioned anything, because it's just like, they're not me. Like I'm so like confident in that, you know. I really try towards my relationships. I give a lot of energy, so I'm like, whatever they're gonna do it regardless. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. Because I've been out even with my guy friends, and other girls come around, and you could tell right away when they're intimidated, because they start looking at, they're not nice. Me, I'm friendly with everyone. I'm like, hey, hi, da da da. I don't care, like what the case may be. And a lot of women, like, they can't be that way, because they might be a little insecure, a little jealous, like, you know what I'm saying? So I've never had that. I've never had that like feeling. Like,
I mean, that's interesting.
That I didn't like trust the guy I'm talking to. I'm like, he gonna do whatever, you know, regardless. So, but I know, like, and that's why they always come back. Just saying, that's why they always come back.
I mean, that's a good perspective to have, because
I really try hard, like, at the person that I am. Like, I really am conscious about how I make people feel, and, you know, the things that I say, and I never want to be in like bad spirits with anybody. Like, that's just the type of person I am. So it's like, my situation's a little different, I guess. I don't know. But another thing that's sad for me is that, like, sometimes I really just want to be friends with somebody, and then they like, and I'm like, damn, man, like, why?
Why you
like,
mess it
why? Why you gotta like say that? You know what I'm saying? But it's just like I said, I don't blame them, and I don't mean that in a cocky way. I mean it with confidence, because, like I said, I really try hard, like, to be a good person. Like,
How they gonna want to be your friend with the
you know
Leo
what I'm
energy?
saying?
You got the body, you got the Leo energy. Like, come on, bro. How we supposed to do this? You know what I mean?
But it's all good, you know.
No, I feel that.
I
feel
love
that.
people. I'm a
Yeah.
humanitarian at heart, so it's like, you know. But no, I don't feel any kind of way like.
Yeah, I know that's a tough one for a lot of people to allow their partner to have friends of the opposite sex. I know that's like when you start to reach that certain level, that always ends up being like something that, you know, you butt heads. And my philosophy is always this. Yeah, it's the same with every single woman. I trust you off the rip. If I choose to allow you to be my girl, I trust you off the rip. It's up to you what you do with that, though.
Yeah.
So you can go party, you can have your male friends, you can put yourself in whatever situation you want to put yourself in. But it's up to you how you act in there. You know what I mean? And same goes for me. I'm not going to put myself in a position to where that temptation is overwhelming, because you know it's going to be there. We are rarely caught off guard by the temptations or the tensions in life, you know, as far as like cheating is concerned. We're rarely caught off guard by that shit. You knew when you went to that party who was going to be there and what they was going to be on. So that's your choice. But I'm going to trust you until you give me a reason not to. I don't see any reason to come into a relationship without having that trust. And if they say that, hey, Jeff, that's my best friend since kindergarten, hey, I don't want to mess that up, because I never want to put somebody in a position, kind of like how you were talking about with your friend from back in the day. I never want to put somebody in a position where they have to like choose, because then you're still leaving a piece of yourself behind. And I just got here also. You know what I mean? I just, like, that's been somebody that you got years in the game with, you know? And if, like you were saying, you do create that new top priority, and if that person isn't mature enough or they're not in love enough with you to prioritize that and make it to where you're feeling good and also their friends are feeling good, then you just got to bounce. You know what I mean? But you can't control that. And I like how you're very big on like control what you can control. You can control your energy, how much you put into the relationship, the Leo-ness, you know, the freedom. You can control that. What you can't control, though, is what they're going to do on their side.
I'm scared of karma, to be quite frank. Like, it's like what you do on others is going to come on to you. So I'm like really big on that. And I think with a lot of people, what they don't realize is like, okay, whatever, you know, I have a pretty face, but then they get around me and then they're just like, wow, like you're so deep, like you're so thoughtful, you're so humble, like you're intellectual. Like they don't expect me to be that way. And that's why when there's a lot of beautiful women around, I'm just kind of like, but do you have intellect though? Like, how deep are you? Are you conscious? Like, so I'm not even worried about like that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as physical appearance. Cause, you know, this ain't just a pretty face, you feel me?
No, that's real though, because it's a lot of guys out there that are looking for like that realness. And so one thing that kind of bothers me about a lot of females is that, like, and I'm sure you probably, you know, all of us then probably got that vibe from a female. It's like, you know, just because I'm a guy and all the guys you come across, you know, just gonna jump on you when they first get a chance, like that doesn't mean I'm gonna do that. Like, they
stereotype.
Yeah.
And it's like, look at all the music that's out right now. It's like, get the bag and leave, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, they automatically expect you as a woman to be that way, and it's like, I'm not that way, like, at all. Like,
it's giving people that window to kind of like let me show you who I really am, because like I done have women like judge me right off the back as if like I want something from them. I'm like, I mean, that's like, no, I don't. I eat lunch with a lot of friends. You know what I mean? Like, I have lunch and conversation with a lot of friends. And like,
that's the other part.
But I mean, it's cool though. I didn't mean no disrespect or anything like that. So like, I just hate when like women do that. And I understand though with what's going on with social media, so many guys are aggressive and just shooting shots left and right and stuff like that. It can give them a bad taste in their mouth, but I just try to always be me. I just try to kind of stay in my lane and communicate the way I communicate. And like, for instance, if I did want to know somebody, I just do it in person versus doing it like on a DM. I know a DM is not my thing, and the way it looks, it always looks bad. Like, you can't give nobody a compliment without it looking like a shot in the DM or something like that, you know?
will thrive off of those DM messages. They will thrive off of it. Either they'll be like turned off or they'll thrive off of it. And they just think there's something because they got like all these DMs. I'm like, but what is that really doing for you? Like, what are they doing
happy
for
birthday.
you?
I seen it was your birthday. I was just saying happy birthday.
I didn't mean to put 3 exclamation marks.
Yeah,
I should have
my
put 2.
bad.
But so what's one piece of advice that you could give? I'll let you do the women. I'll let you do the men. What's one piece of advice that you could give women in navigating friendships with men? Knowing that there's going to be this tension, what advice could you give them?
Man, I think just stay true to yourself and like don't be scared of communication. Like if someone if they're your friend and they into you and they tell you and you the relationship is more important to you, then just communicate with them that that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? And we could still continue on with our friendship. And if they do come on to you and you liked it and you wanted that same thing, then just communicate that, okay, this might be a mutual thing that we can. I think communication is like really big, like with this topic, because a lot of things go unsaid because of people's like pride and ego. So I just feel like communication is very important.
Facts. Myles, anything for the fellas?
I would say for the fellas, when it comes, 2 things actually. For fellas, when it comes to having just a friendship with a female, for one, be mature enough to make this decision early on. What is this going to be? This going to be your friend or is this going to be a target, like somewhere down the road? So you kind of can know how to navigate the relationship. And if you probably send off signs that you're probably trying to shoot a shot and she would sense it early. But if that's someone that's going to be your friend, then understand it from the go. That, you know, that's going to be my friend. And yeah, I'm attracted to him, but like I've already made that decision that this is just my friend. On the plus side of that, I think fellas need to understand that having an attractive friend is okay. Like you don't have to shoot your shot at the attractive friend. Like if it's not going to work for one, just understand your hand. Know what you're playing with. I thought it was always cool to have attractive friends because attractive homegirls mean more attractive friends from them, like, you know, attractive girls hang around attractive girls.
So we see your real motive
I'm
here.
just saying, like,
got it.
In college,
noted.
In college, that's like how it was for me. Like, I used to go to the basketball game with 2 of my homegirls, and like, just because they were good energy, good company. One was like 6'4". She was like way taller than me, but we used to pull up to the basketball game together. It was my real homie, and she had attractive friends. So like, people used to think that we were talking. I'm like, I mean, no, I'm single.
So you just like, you know, attractive women being around you.
No, but it doesn't. The only reason I had to say attractive is because I feel like sometimes men don't know how to have an attractive friend.
No, it's true.
I feel like if a girl is like let me just say Instagram famous and you just happen to be her friend, I feel like men don't know how to just have that person as a friend. Like you don't have to try to shoot your shot at that person and stuff like that, do something stupid, you drunk or something like that and you made a move. Like, no, that was your friend. Like, why would you do that? But understand what comes with it. If you're not trying to talk to her and you really are single, well, I mean, understand it. I mean, that person, she comes with like probably 15 other attractive girls.
So take your choice, right?
I mean, it's not really me taking my choice because you got to think about it. They still have to want me.
Right.
They still have to want me. But I'm just saying, like, the maturity level that it comes with, like having an attractive friend, like it comes with so many other perks versus you ruin that one relationship.
That's true.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like it may not work out between you and that person, but she introduced you to your future wife. You know, that's what I'm saying. But like just understanding, like in college, I just understood. Like most people, they'll be like, "You always with such and such." I'm like, that's my friend. Like, but why I'd rather be around females than guys any day of the week. Don't get me wrong. Like that's just how I am. I have guys that I grew up with. I stay loyal to those guys that I grew up with. If I'm out, I'm not gonna be with a whole bunch of new guys. I'm gonna be around probably some women that I trust. It's just I connect better with women.
I feel that.
But I think we have to make it clear for guys, like, look, dude, it's okay to have an attractive friend. It is. It's okay. Guys, I've been in a situation, like, y'all don't understand.
Hold up.
Boy, I got that PTSD.
It's because, like, I've been in situations, like, where I've, like, just had to almost, like, explain myself. And I'm like, you know, like, it's nothing wrong with, you know, being around attractive people. Don't you find yourself attractive when you want to be around other attractive people?
Are you asking me a question?
I mean, I bet
you know how I feel about
that's
myself.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I know you know, like, if your friends are attractive or not or whatever. Like, I ain't trying to call nobody ugly. I'm just saying, please don't put this in there.
But who was it
Jesus.
that said? Who was it that there was like a meme going around? He's like, I ain't never seen like if there's an attractive friend, she always has an ugly friend.
Oh, that's a TikTok. Yeah, that's a TikTok. They're like, I ain't never seen two attractive
Two bad
best friends.
Like,
yeah.
there's always an ugly one.
Ugly. I'm like,
yeah, that's
man.
very true though. That's probably true.
I don't know.
But
all my squad is legit.
That's the opinion of the guys.
Yeah, for me, I'm
guess.
gonna take what you said and kind of turn it another way. I think it's like how you said it's okay to have an attractive friend. I think it's also okay to understand that there will be feelings sometimes. It's impossible to run into every single opposite sex friend and there never be any time that you're tempted. I think it's okay to have that temptation. Just understand how to either put it in two categories. Either this is something that I need to voice because it's going to eat me up and I need to make sure that this is known, or this is something that I will move past and I can just let it go. That's my advice to people. Understand what's going on and move forward amicably, right? Do I need to talk about this? Is this something that I need to address? Or is it not?
Exactly, and that's where communication comes into play.
Exactly. I want to thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate your time. Love you guys. And I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Raw Daddy Hour. Grandma, you've been holding us down. Continue to do so. Bring the rest of the nursing home. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.